the class. This is the financial engineering class. So this is our class web page. In order to find the class web page, you can go to our portal, Hanyang University portal, and then you can go to our class web page, and you can go to the link. So I don't know how the student web page works, but if you go Hanyang portal, then there is my home menu, I think. And if you click my home menu, you can find a list of our class, a list of the class you registered, and then you can find the class. If you click our class, then there is a link to this web page, I think. More easier way to find this one is you can simply type my name. My name is Hyung-Gu Kang. This is my name, and then yes. Oh, there is a even stupid looking. Yeah, there is a why they show this one? Anyway, there is my web page. The first one, you can click this one and go to teaching. And teaching, this is 2015 fall. And then our class is seminar in financial engineering. You can click this one, then we have this one. And then about our course requirement, we don't have any exam. I mean, we don't have any ordinary exam. So we don't have a midterm exam. We don't have final exam. But from time to time, it is possible that you may have a quiz, but quiz will be very rare, so you don't have to worry about it. So, and yet there is no ordinary exam, okay? Then possible question, how will I grade, okay? Grading is important. Grading depends on your presentation and homework, and then term papers. So your term papers, presentation, homework will determine your grade. And then you should write term paper fixed income. No, not fixed income. Sorry, I'll change you. Okay. About financial engineering, right? Engineering. So I will show you example of any term paper, of a financial engineering. But don't worry, homework there should be no S. Okay. But no, you don't have to. Even if you don't have any idea of financial engineering, I think it would be fine. I mean, you can. I think it is. You can find the topic. I think most of all finance topics are somehow related to financial engineering. So even if you think your idea is maybe not financial engineering, you can transform that into financial engineering. Right? So anyway, you have a flexibility in your topic, and then any topic you can think of, you can somehow relate it into financial engineering. I can help you about that, so don't worry about it. And I will check the progress of your term paper every week, almost every week. So I will help you, so don't worry about it. So term paper is most important. And then I'll ask you to do the presentation. So every class, there will be a student presentation, 10 minutes to 15 minutes. And student will do the presentation about any class topic or possibly all about your term paper. Okay, so anyway, I'll help you. And then in this class, you will use a program, software called R. Okay? And then we will have a TA class about R next Friday. 11th September. And then TA will briefly introduce you R. If you want to study ahead about R, then you can simply type R in the Google, right? Google R, then R Project for Statistical Computing is the program we will use very intensively. Okay. And then there are manuals and everything. So a student per class will present the textbook or research term paper, update on term paper, on their term paper, on his, her term paper. And then I will decide your student presentation schedule shortly. Okay. And then about term paper, you will write the term paper, and there is a rule about writing term paper. First, you have to use a short sentence. Okay. Please don't write a long sentence that span more than 2 lines. Very short sentence. I like school. I like Hanyang University. Something like that. Okay. Short sentence, and do not use complex sentences. I recommend subject, verb, object type sentence. Again, I love this class, something like that. Don't use like, series of don't use a sentence that includes series of sub-sentences that modify other sentences, things like that. And then I think this is enough for now. So your first homework is homework. Okay. Your first homework is homework due. Okay. Due. Okay. Due 1 week. Okay, so research question, and then this is first homework. Submit your research question and an introduction to your question to our class page at Hanyang portal. It means if you go to Hanyang portal, and then if you go out my home, and then you can find, yes, I think this is why this is. Let me log into English menu. So this is a Hanyang portal. You can go to my home, and 2015 fall, and this is name for our class, Hanyang Seminar in Financial Engineering, and you can go. And then in this classroom there is this bulletin board. Okay, you can get bulletin board, and then post. Okay. Okay, so I just wrote a message in this bulletin board, and then when you submit your homework, you can simply reply to this one. Okay, you can reply, and then copy and paste your research question, and then brief discussion about your research question. Basically, you have to convince me that your research question is good, and then your research question is original and interesting. Okay. Then the question is, what is the research question? Research question means, okay, you can Google research question. Research question means, yeah, there is even a step-by-step guide for research question. But anyway, research question, if you go to Wikipedia, specifying the research question is the methodological point of departure of any scholarly research in both natural and social science. Finance is subfield of economics. So finance is a subfield of economics, and economics again subfield of social science. Okay, so in order to write a term paper about this class, you have to find a research question. Okay? And then as Wikipedia explained, it's a methodological starting point. So basically, research question is simple. It is one sentence. It is one sentence ending with question mark. Any example about? Yes, there is even here is Creswell's example of script for a qualitative research question. This research question is big. Yeah, but there are some famous research questions that changed the history of human being. For example, Isaac Newton. Believe you, maybe it is not. I'm not sure it is real history or not, but one of his research questions: why apple falls to the ground, something like that. Why do apples fall to the ground? Right? That was his research question. And he developed a theory about the gravity. I'm not expert in physics, but that's my understanding about the Isaac Newton's gravity theory, right? So anyway, there is one great example of research question. Why do apples fall to the ground? Right? It is one sentence. It is a sentence ending with a question mark. So you can find something like that. Okay? You can generate a research question like that and briefly explain why your research question is exciting. That's very important. And then there are, so please think deeply. Please think deep about your research question, because some students want to change your research question in the middle of the class, in the middle of the semester. If you change your research question in the middle of the semester, it is fine, but you will have less time to finish your term paper. So there is a strong correlation between the grading and the time you spend on your research question. So it means those students who change research question in the middle, they usually receive a low grade. It is not surprising because they spend less time on their research question and writing a paper. So it is better to determine your research question as soon as possible at the early stage. So your homework is to determine your research question by next week. But of course, it is possible to change your research question after the next week. It is possible you can change it, but I strongly recommend against it because it may hurt your final grade a lot. Any question? Do you have any question about the homework due next week? Yes. So I don't want to limit your imagination, okay? Just come up with your research question and then I will determine after that, ex ante. I don't want to ex ante limit your research question. I will only assess your research question ex post. Okay? So don't limit your imagination. So any other question about this class? Okay, then today I'll show you example of research question and paper, term paper. Okay. Recently, I wrote a paper about Korean military system, and then I think it is financial engineering idea. I will explain why. Okay. So I'm writing a paper. It is my recent working paper. This paper is still working in progress. So in our course of this, so yeah, this is first week and first class. And if you click this one, you can go to this slide. And if you click this one, actually you can download my research paper. So this is a research paper I'm working on. So in the end of this class, you will produce something like this. Okay, this is your goal, to produce something like this in the end. So anyway, I think this is one example of the financial engineering paper. One example about your term paper. So let me briefly introduce this one. So the title of this paper is Real Option Approach to Military Service. So this idea about Korean military service. And then I think if you study financial engineering, I think there's room to improve Korean military service using the financial engineering. Okay, I explain why. So abstract of this paper is this paper firstly demonstrates how real option approach. So real option is kind of derivative topic. Real option approach potentially improve a military system. We present a novel military system, a hybrid of conscription and voluntary military system. Under this system, a drafted male would serve a predetermined period and then, if qualified, has the option of extending his military service and receiving a strike price. Our survey in Korea shows that the appropriate strike price is approximately $20,000 for a 10-month extension. This hybrid has the advantage of discharging unsatisfactory personnel from the military, reducing moral hazard and information asymmetry, and enhancing social welfare. Okay, I can explain more. Okay, so this is my idea. How many of you have been to Korean Army? Could you please raise your hand? So yeah, so we have many experts about Korean Army. So in Korea, okay, every Korean male should serve in the military. It is national duty. It is civic duty for male, only males, not females. All male Koreans should serve in the army, or Air Force, in the Navy, of course, in the military. And they have to serve about 21 months. They have to serve in the army 21 months. And then if Korean male go to the army and serve in 21 months, in the army there are approximately for them, most of them, there are four ranks. For the first 5 months, they should serve as a private second class called 이병 in Korea. So, okay, it is 21 months. The obligation period, the duty period is service period is 21 months, but about 1 month is vacation. So actually they serve about 20 months. Out of 20 months, first 5 months they serve as a private second class. So insignia is just one line. And then after 5 months, now they become private first class called 일병. And then next 5 months, they serve as a corporal, and the last 5 months, they serve as sergeant approximately. So there are 4 ranks. For each rank, they serve about 5 months. Therefore, it is in total 20 months, and plus 1 month of vacation, so it is about 21 months. So every Korean male basically should serve this one. Of course, there are options. Some students want to graduate university first, and they decide to become like military officers. And in my case, instead of serving 20 months, in my time it was about 25 months. Instead of serving as an ordinary soldier, I decided to graduate undergraduate college first, and I served as an officer, Air Force officer. And in my case, because I served as an Air Force officer, I have to serve in the Army about 40 months. So it is far longer than usual ordinary soldier. So anyway, there are other alternatives of serving the army, but it is mainstream. So my idea is that like this. For the first 2 ranks, so it means for the first 10 months, my idea is that a healthy Korean male must serve 10 months as a private. So this is obligation. Similar to the present system, my recommendation is everyone should serve in the army for 10 months. And then my idea is we give an option. Okay, such that, okay, option that each soldier has an option such that they decide whether they will stay in the army or stay in the army or discharge, go home. Not surprisingly, if we simply give option to each soldier like this, then 99.999% will go home, decline continuing the army. It is not surprising. There are several reasons. First, the salary, the wage of serving the army is about, how much is the wage per month nowadays? Like $20 something. Something like that. Do you remember how much is the wage nowadays? What? $80? Also, it is a lot. So it is about $80 per month. Well, in my time, it was about $20. So anyway, so in the army, per month wage is only $80. And in the army, soldiers should live a very strict life. They cannot call their girlfriend. They cannot call their father and mother. And their life is very hard. They have to clean up their facilities and a lot of shoveling. And then a lot of military exercise, and then there are even human rights violation against human rights. People hit each other, something like that. And your senior may hit you. Something like, so it is, in some sense, not so happy life. And then they cannot leave the base. Unless it is a vacation, they have to stay in the base. And then they receive only $80 per month. So most of people don't want to serve in the army. Therefore, if we simply give this option at the end of 10th month, everyone will have to leave the military service and go home, right? So my idea is that, okay, there is option. First, you can go home. Second one is you can receive 20 million Korean won. It is about 15,000 US dollar. Okay, so option such that you can go home now, or you can receive like 15,000 US dollar or 20 million Korean won and continue to serve in the army 10 months more, and then promote corporal and sergeant. So again, these 2 periods obligation, and if a soldier choose to serve more, as a corporal and sergeant, they will receive about 20 million Korean won, which is 15,000 US dollar. So it is basically my idea. And I think it is financial engineering because there is option. Okay, each is also the option to serve and option to leave. So there is option. Option is a derivative. Derivative is important topic of financial engineering. So it is a legitimate topic for financial engineering. So this is one example. Okay. Any question? So in this case is about, yes. Oh. Maybe I can explain this idea in more detail maybe next week or sometime later. But maybe today we don't have enough time, so yeah. To give a brief answer, this is the 20 million that I did actually survey about this idea, and then $20 million is approximately like a starting wage, starting salary for the usual university under college graduate students, approximately, or something like that. So for my curiosity, if you are given this option about $20 million and you serve in the army as a corporal, sergeant, 10 months more, how many of you will choose to remain in the army? Can you raise your hand? Okay, so we have only one. Wow, you are so, okay, only one. Why not? You can receive 20 million Korean won. 2천만 원 is not enough. 20 million Korean won is not enough. Yeah, and you are confident. So you are confident that once you leave the army and you can get job comparable to 20 million Korean won. Great. How about you? Are you also sure that you will receive more than that if you find alternative job opportunity? Freedom is most important. So anyways, I did a survey. Let me show you the regression result. I did some statistical survey. And then, what is the actually, I did a survey and about 60%. There is a, I cannot find this. About 60% of the respondents replied that they are happy to serve in the army. More than half. Let me show the digit. So we examined the respondent. We asked about 300 randomly selected Korean young educated males, age 21, 31 years old. They are either college students, college graduates. We matched the regional distribution of random sample with the Korean population. And half of the 300 have not yet served in the military, and the other half had already finished their military duty. So it's a pre-service group and post-service group. And then there is where is the exact number? Well, I cannot remember exact number. And then once anyway, about more than half of the respondents said that they will receive 20 million Korean won and serve in the army more. And then more surprising thing is, if we compare the pre-service group and post-service group, again, pre-service group means then those who haven't served the army yet, and post-service group is like you, who finished the service. Those post-service group, those respondents in post-service group, they are more likely to take this option of serving 10 months more and then receive 20 million more. So actually I was surprised, okay, surprised. Those experienced are more favorable to the military service. And I thought about it, and then again, if you look at this one, remember, if you serve 10 months more, you don't start from beginning. Now you start your life, military life, as a 상병 corporal, and then sergeant. And life, of course, life in military service is anyway miserable, but And life is slightly better as a corporal sergeant than those 일병 and 이병. And some people actually say that life as a sergeant actually not bad at all. Okay, they say that it is one of their most comfortable time in their lifetime. Anyway, some people say that this life as a corporal sergeant is kind of fine. So 20 million Korean won plus free meal, free housing, they are not a big deal. They are not that bad deal. So some people say they are willing to take the deal. And then about $20 million, and I did additional survey, and actually I asked table 3. Actually, table 3 is this one. Table 3. In table 3, okay, we asked what our respondents think is socially desirable strike price. So this I will explain later, but this 20 million Korean won, this kind of money is called the strike price in option. Strike price or exercise price or those things. They are called the strike price. And I asked what our respondents think it is a socially desirable strike price. The amount of staying in the military continue per month. For example, if a respondent answered 2 million won, he believed that a soldier should receive 2 million Korean won per month. 2 million Korean won is how much? It is about $2,000. Actually, about 1,500 US dollar. Okay, if soldiers choose to serve for the military 10 months more as a corporal sergeant, thus this question measures subjective and social valuation on monthly strike price. It also assesses how much our hybrid system is socially implementable. The larger the number, the higher society prizes the sacrifice in military service, but the more costly to implement the hybrid. And in our analysis, the mean of the socially accepted monthly option strike price is about slightly more than 2 million Korean won. Okay? So about $2,000. So socially, people think that, okay, 2,000 would be appropriate as a per month wage if we start this program in the military. So anyway, so this 20 million Korean won for 10 months more is approximately in line with people's perception of what the value of a per month service, and then also in line with the starting salary of the Korean male student after they graduate. Any question? And it is derivative because, okay, it is derivative because we can interpret this system, we can interpret my idea, okay, 10 months obligation option and 10 more months as a choice. It is kind of option because we can interpret this one both as call option or as put option. Okay. Okay. Where is it? Okay, so again, this is the idea. Every healthy male, Korean male, should serve 10 months as a private, second class or first class. At the end of 10th month, we call it option maturity. At the option maturity, the Korean government gives private an option to choose from two alternatives. A1, alternative 1 is leave the military immediately. Alternative 2 is receive 20 million Korean won and serve in the military 10 months more as a corporal sergeant if the military approves the extended period. So again, not everyone They are only, so from the perspective of military, they don't want some people. There are some, not every male fits as a soldier. So from the perspective of military, they want to may decline some males. Okay, therefore, this option is given to everyone, but even if some decide to serve in the military 10 months more, maybe military can decline them if their record for the previous 10 months is not so good. So anyway, this is the basically system, and then figure 1, this noble hybrid military and ocean system. Figure 1 is what I showed. This choice is given to private is European. Okay, so we can interpret it as both, okay, both put and military, put option and call option. So it is actually matter. It is a matter of interpretation whether this option is call or put. And then if it is option, there should be underlying asset. And I regard human capital of Korean male as its underlying asset. So my interpretation, we can interpret this one as a call option, put option with human capital as underlying asset. So for example, if we interpret this one as a call option, okay, or private, so which is again the ranked after 10 months, a private will give up the strike price 20 million won if he believed his human capital outside of military more valuable than the strike price. So it is exactly the idea of 이규 학생, Q. He argued that he will decline this option and he will leave the military because he is confident that he can make more than 20 million, more than 20,000 US dollar for the next 10 months outside of the military. So Q is confident about that, which means that he believes his human capital is valuable enough in outside than in military, and the valuation gap is more than 20 million Korean won or 2,000 US dollar. Actually making $2,000 for the 10 months is actually not easy, but anyway, he is confident about that, okay? Because he is a good student, okay? So this is call option on human capital. They will pay, so they will pay 20 million Korean won and then go outside. So it is call option, exercising call option on human capital outside of military and exercising it by paying or forsaking 20 million Korean won. So this is call option interpretation. But we can also interpret this one as put option. Okay, put option. As a put option or insurance on human capital. Put option is actually insurance contract, kind of insurance contract. Insurance is kind of put option. As for put option or insurance on human capital, the strike price is a downside protection for later 10 months. Okay? A private will continue his military service if his human capital drops below the strike price. Okay? This can happen due to economic downturn or depreciation of his skill. Okay? Okay, so now after 10 months, you have to decide whether you will stay in the army or go outside. And then you think of that, oh, if I leave the army and go outside, I will be unemployed. You may think you are unemployed. Okay? And you cannot make any money anyway. You will be unemployed. So you may think that, okay, it is better to stay in the army and receive 20 million Korean won is better than staying unemployed outside of army. Of course, some people value freedom in your case, but freedom is not always that valuable. Unfortunately, many Korean males lose their girlfriend after they start their army. The usual sum is that before they start military service, many of them have a girlfriend, for example, and of course the girlfriend cry for you. I will wait for you. Okay, please stay safe in the army, something like that. And I will wait for you. I love you, something like that. But what usually happens is that after 5 months, of course, first 2 or 3 months, you receive a mail from your girlfriend like every week, and after 5 months, your girlfriend is sending mail only per month, and then someday you receive your last mail from your girlfriend about 10 months later that I think our relationship doesn't go well, and then I love someone else, something like that, and then they are usually dumped. That's what usually happens, right? Easy. So in that case, in the outside of the military service, you like freedom, but anyway you don't have a girlfriend, and your life is miserable, and then you don't have a job. Then even your parents think that, what are you doing in the home? Everyone is working, and you are staying in the home, and then staying in your room and doing online game every day, something like that, and then your life may be not that good. In that case, this system can help you. This is a great insurance policy for your lost girlfriend, for your miserable freedom and employment state. So in this case, it's a put option. Put option, your downside protection on your human capital. Right? So therefore, it is a matter of interpretation whether it is put option or call option. Anyway, the bottom line is that we can interpret this one as a call option, either call option and put option, and there are derivatives, and it is a great topic for financial engineering. If we show it mathematically, I think this is a great opportunity to explain call option and put option. So after 10 months, at the expiration date, we can express the situation of the soldier who faces this option as follows, mathematically as follows. M and S. Here, M is the value of life in military. S is value of life in civil society outside the military. So here M is 20 million Korean won. Okay, 20 million Korean won. So at the moment of this expiration date or choice, you have to compare your life, your human capital value in society, and your human capital value in the military, which is 20 million Korean won. So if this 20 million won is greater than S, you will stay in the army. Okay? If M is greater than S, then you will stay in the army. Okay? Then let's say this is F. Then F is M. If M is greater than S, then F equals M, right? Because M is greater than, which means that you choose 20 million won. If your human capital or life is more valuable outside of the military, when S is greater than 20 million Korean won, F becomes S. Okay, which means you choose to discharge. Okay, so the situation is mathematically like this. And then we can explain this one either with this one like this. So max S minus M, now 0 plus M, right? This one and this one is exactly same mathematically same, okay? Even in this case too, when M is greater than S, then this one is 0, so we have M. When S is greater than 1, now this is S minus M, so M cancels out, this is S. So they have exactly the same notation, they yield exactly the same value, isn't it? And then this is the call option formula, payoff formula for call option, right? Could you please raise your hand if it is your first time to learn the call option? No, so everyone knows call option, right? Okay, call option. So it is a payoff function for call option. And then if we can write this and like this too, max S, now it is M minus S 0 plus S. Again, it is same method. And this is the payoff function for put option. So it is a matter of interpretation, whether you interpret this or call put. You can interpret it in both ways. If we interpret in the first way as a call option, so your choice between military and societies is comparable to your position. So you have a long position on call option plus cash. Okay, it is cash plus call option, or your decision choice. Your choice is comparable to now put option plus your underlying asset S. So in the first case, you have a cash and call option. So if your life is good, you are willing to give up the cash and have the social life. This is a typical insurance contract. Second one is typically insurance, notation for insurance contract. You have an underlying asset called S, or your human capital value in society, plus you have your insurance policy. What is insurance? If there is car accident, you receive money, right? This is car insurance. So you can interpret car insurance having a position on car plus put option. So after accident, what would be the value of your car? After car accident, value of your car becomes like $1 or something, very low, right? In that case, you give the car to the insurance company and receive cash, right? So basically, insurance policy for car insurance, car accident insurance policy is comparable to you have a car plus put option such that you can sell the car if the value of your car drops significantly because of accident. So that's the insurance policy. This is exactly the same. You have the position on your human capital in society plus your insurance value. So if you use your girlfriend, if you lose your girlfriend, or if you expect you will be unemployed after military discharge, then you can exercise the insurance. You can sell your human capital to the military and receive 20 million Korean won instead. So it is exactly insurance policy. So put option plus your human capital. Right? So are you convinced that it is a financial engineering topic? You are not? Yes, it will fluctuate. Yes, so I have a discussion about that. So there are many issues. So I explained this idea to military people, and then I discussed it with many, and there are some of the challenges, some drawbacks in this idea. Okay, I can. Okay. So this is the idea, and I did survey, empirical analysis, and then some discussion. Okay. Empirical issue, optimal design, signaling game. Okay, there are many issues, so I discussed many issues, but one important in order to tell the other one, you have to know information asymmetry, agency problem, and those things. Okay, this one easy one. Okay, let me choose the easy one. Reserve army and skill. Okay, we interviewed several military officials, and to officially express a concern. Anyway, it's not directly, I'm not directly answering your question, okay? There are many other issues, and one of the, I think, important issue is reserve army issue. We interviewed several military officials to officially express concern on the budgetary implication. It costs the government money. In order to install this system, they have to have money. Basically, the idea is that every option is valuable. The value of option cannot be negative. Option is positive value. In this case, soldiers doesn't pay option premium. So it means government is bearing the option premium. So it is costly. I will explain this later. So budgetary implication, it is expensive. So in addition, they concern that the system, my hybrid system, this system I just explained, can weaken the reserve force. What I mean by reserve force, okay? This system can weaken the reserve force of the Korean army. In Singapore, I think Singapore, you are from Singapore, so every Singapore male should serve in the army too, right? How long do you serve? 2 years. So it is long. Okay. Is life in the Singapore army good? Not good. Anyway, so I mean, since did you already serve in the army?
No, actually, I'm not certified.
Why?
Because I'm not following.
Ah, okay. Ah, I see. I see. How about you? How about your brother or anyone serving the Singapore army? Only your friend. Do they like serving in the army? Not really. Okay. So it is globally, you know. You know, people don't like serving in the army. Anyway, but of course, U.S. is different because they pay a lot and then they are more prestigious. You know, only in Korea they give you only $80 per month for the hard work. So it is not good deal. So it is not surprising that people hate serving in the army. Anyway, discharging a soldier is not the end of the military service in Korea. Okay? Once you leave the army, so it is not the end. Okay? There's next story about your military life. In the current situation, the reserves called the 예비군 are strategically very, very important in Korea. Okay, thing is like this. We have a Korean peninsula. Okay, let me briefly explain the intuition of the reserve army. So this is Korean peninsula. It's not pretty, but Korean peninsula. So it's a DMZ. It is too low. No, it is not. So it is something like this one. It's DMZ. So majority of Korean army are stationed in the border. Okay, and there are sporadically some Korean army, and North Koreans too. Okay, there are heavy artillery and a lot of military are like this. So in the next to demilitarized zone, we have heavy forces at each side. And suppose there is a war between, I don't think the war between North and South Korea is that likely, but still there is a chance. And suppose there is a war between North and South and Korea. And there is a simulation of a war, of course. If we believe the simulation, after war starts, within 1 hour or 2 hours, about 80% of the soldiers in this area will die. Even it is not surprising, right? They have heavy weapons, biological weapons, and chemical weapons, and actually they even have to use that biological, chemical weapons. They have large cannons, they have good cannons, and they bombard this area, and 80% of soldiers is likely to die. But war doesn't over within 1 hour. War can continue for several weeks or several months, even in Iraq. I mean, it is still at war, right? Then 80% soldiers will die. Then who will fight? Then those guys will fight. Okay? Now, okay, I know you are discharged, but Korea needs you. So come back to the army and then they give you gun, and then they will fight. Okay, because they are reserve army. Okay, so the reserve army is strategically very important in Korea. So therefore, the military should ensure that a soldier is skilled enough at discharge. Point is that in order to become good reserve army, they should get enough training in the army. Are you sure you are good reserve army? Do you remember you still? Are you sure you can? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. So he is skilled. He is skilled and he is skilled. Therefore, the military should ensure that a soldier is skilled enough at discharge. To this end, 10 months appear short to produce usable reserve force. They served in the army 21 months, so they are skilled. But 10 months, maybe not enough. How do you think? 10 months do you think 10 months is enough to become a useful reserve army? How do you think? Too short, right? Too short, yeah. Thing is that, for example, all soldiers may not even complete one ranger. It's called 유격. Oh, it is horrible military exercise, very hard one. One extreme weather training called 혹한기 during his service. At least they should experience one ranger training and one extreme weather training. But if they stay only 10 months, they cannot. Some officials argue that it takes around 15 months for the infantry to be skilled and longer for artillery and tank specialists. You know, if you have to deal with artillery and tank specialists, and you need some engineering skill. In order to get engineering skill, 10 months is definitely too short, right? And of course, they are like we also need soft skill, like leadership skill. Okay, in the army, believe it or not, people learn leadership skills. And if people discharge only after 10 months, as a junior military soldier, they have no experience. They don't have any opportunity to acquire leadership skills. So that can create many problems. Okay. So, in addition, those soldiers in strategically important but difficult task. Okay, again, if we go to this one, life here is more difficult than life here, right? But this is more important than this one. And thing is that if you soldiers here, if they are given 10 months option, they are more likely to live than here. Right? But this area is more important. So we have some, it is in economics called adverse selection. Adverse selection. People we need is likely to leave the military more. People we need is more unavailable. This is called adverse selection in economics, great issue. And so this kind of problems can be created. Some argue that leadership skill materialize at the transition from private first class to corporal. So exactly this period. So this is junior period and senior period. And soldiers begin to exercise leadership only at this period. And if they leave this only 10 months, they don't learn any leadership skills, therefore they are not useful as a reserve army, although reserve army is strategically important. Okay. So in order to address those budgetary concerns and skill acquisition problems, we clearly need to implement hybrid system, flexible and varied depending on context. Next, so then how we can get over these problems? Still, I'm looking for the answers. It is working in progress, but I don't think it is impossible. Okay. Anyway, so it is a long answer to your question. I admit that there are big problems about some challenges about this idea, but yeah, I think they are not impossible. It is not impossible to get over those problems. Any other questions? So anyway, this is one example. So in the end of this semester, you will produce a paper something like this. You will write a paper something like this, and exactly, and the format of the paper is also important. So your paper format exactly will be look like this one. Title, your affiliate information, acknowledgement, title, abstract, keyword, and your essay, and then your references. This is the most important part, your references and figures and your analysis. So your term paper would be exactly look like this in terms of format. You will produce it. So at the end of the semester, and you fail to produce reasonable research paper like this one, of course you will fail this class. I agree that this is not easy to write something like this. It is challenging, but I think it is a useful skill. And if you think it will be too hard to write some term paper like this one, I recommend you to drop this class. Okay? Yes? English? Sources? That is a good question. So, I cannot, where are you from? So, you are, it is possible that you use some Dutch references, right? Anyway, please do your best to interpret that one into English, okay? But anyway, you have to write your term paper in English, everything in English. But for references, I don't want you to translate everything into English, but do the reasonable translation. At least I can. It is fine if I can locate your references and download your reference, and if I can use Google Translation and read it. If I can do that, it is fine. Okay. Any other question? Yes. Yes, that's a good question. And then I recommend that you have to do some data analysis about term paper. And then to do the data analysis, you can use R, but it is not required. If you think you can do all the analysis with Excel, it is fine. But anyway, you have to master R, because I will give homework about financial engineering. And to do the homework, you have to write down program with R. And for homework, you have to submit the output of your program and your source code written in R. So anyway, you have to use R during the class, but maybe not for the term paper. Yeah, any other? Yes.
So if I understand you correctly, your conclusion of your thesis should be if your theory is better or not than the alternative.
You mean this paper or your paper? Any paper, there is no rule about that. So about the format of the term paper, I'll explain to you later. Okay, I'll give you a format. What should be in the introduction, what should be the conclusion, and what should be in the literature review and model part, something like that. Okay, I will explain to you that later. The deadline for term paper is, I haven't decided yet, but somewhere early December. Because, I mean, you have to submit term paper early December, then, because I want to give you a chance, okay? If you submit term paper early December, then I can read it and I can give you feedback. Then you have opportunity to update your term paper, okay? So I want to make it early December. So early December is deadline for first submission, and then for those, and then I can give you the feedback, and then for second version, which should be final version, should be the middle of the December, I think. Yes? Beg your pardon?
So how many words do we have to write?
How many pages?
Words or pages?
Words or pages? I mean, it is up to you. I mean, there is no, you can write 200 pages of work or 2 pages. It is up to you. You know, John Nash got Nobel Prize in economics, and his Nobel Prize winning paper is 1 page. Okay, so 1 page is fine. If you write a book about this one, about your term paper, it is also fine. It would be painful for me, but I will read it. Okay, so any other question? Okay, good. Then see you on Friday.